Imagine a young man who has loved a girl from afar, for as long as he can remember. Every glance, every smile, each moment she passed him, filled his heart with warmth and longing. Yet, he never told her. He never even tried. Instead, he watched her from a distance, hoping that somehow she might notice him, but no words came. Why? Because he believed, deep down, that he wasn't enough for her, that he wasn't worthy of her love. Every day, he fought with his own self-doubt. I'm not good enough for her, he'd tell himself. She deserves someone better. He let these thoughts control him. And so, he stayed silent, his love unspoken, his heart aching with the weight of what could have been. And now, all he is left with are the haunting echoes of his silence, the what-ifs that never stopped chasing him. What if I had just told her how I felt? What if I had been brave enough to speak the truth? But that chance is gone. Time moved on, and with it, the possibility of a life with her. Now, he's left wondering if his regret will follow him for the rest of his life. He knows it's too late, that he can never go back to those moments. But if he could, he would live differently. He would speak his truth. He would act. He would no longer let fear control his destiny. Does this story sound familiar to you? This young man, like so many of us, lived a life of missed opportunities. He didn't just miss one moment, but countless moments, each adding to the heavy weight of his regret. He thought the fear of rejection would be too much, so he kept his feelings hidden, tucked away behind a wall of self-doubt. And with each passing day, his regret grew. He had dreams, a future he could have shared with her, but instead, he chose to be silent. What does silence cost us? What is the price we pay for not acting? For waiting? For hiding behind our fears and thinking, I'll wait for the right time. But you and I both know the right time never comes, does it? Because waiting is just another way of saying, I'm afraid. And when we let fear control us, we end up looking back, wishing we had done more, been braver, loved louder. This young man now stands at the edge of his life, looking back at the moments he didn't seize, and with every glance, he feels the weight of time slipping through his fingers. What could have been? But what if you could live differently? What if today, you made a choice to never let another moment slip by without living it fully? For our young man, the cost is heavy. Every time he watches her laugh, sees her smile, it feels like a knife to the heart. He never got to share in her joy, to be the one to stand beside her, to offer her his love. Instead, he watched her walk away, living her life while he stood still. And that's the deepest regret, isn't it? Not the things we do, but the things we don't do, the chances we don't take, the risks we avoid because we're too afraid of failure. We live in the what-ifs, imagining the perfect outcome, but never daring to take the first step. He is consumed by the idea of what could have been, but there's something even worse than that, the fear of never knowing. You can live with a little pain, but living with the unknown pain of never having tried? That's something that will follow you forever. Now he knows, all too well, that it's too late. She's moved on, and the regret? It's a constant shadow, a companion who never leaves. He knows that if he had only been brave enough, things could have been different. But maybe, just maybe, you don't have to live this way. Maybe it's not too late for you to make your own choices, take the risks you've been avoiding, and choose to live with no more regrets. Here's the truth. Regret has power only if you let it. The longer we live in the shadows of our mistakes, the heavier they become. But what if I told you that you have the power to walk away from that weight? It's not about forgetting the past. It's about accepting it, embracing it, knowing that those moments of silence, those missed opportunities, don't define who you are now. They were just moments, just chapters in the book of your life, and you can still choose to write the rest of your story. The young man was trapped in his regret, but as he stood there, in the quiet of his own reflection, something changed. He realized, the past doesn't control me unless I let it. He understood that his actions, the things he didn't do, could no longer dictate his happiness. The future was waiting for him to step into it, and it wasn't too late to try again. But this time, He would do things differently. He wouldn't wait for the right moment. He would create the moment. He would choose now. And you can do the same. You can choose to take that first step today, right now. You can choose to move beyond the past and make a future that is full of hope and possibility. Yes, it's scary. Yes, you might fail. But what's worse, trying and failing, or never trying at all? This is where the story shifts. Our young man could have continued living with his regrets, but instead, he chose to act. He chose to be vulnerable, to risk rejection, and to finally live without the weight of missed opportunities holding him down. And as he took those first steps, just one action, no matter how small the weight lifted, the regret didn't disappear entirely, but it no longer controlled him. He knew he was on the path to a life lived fully, not in the shadow of the past, but in the light of possibility. And so can you. What do you need to do today? What small action can you take right now to step into the life you've been waiting for? The life you deserve? You're not too late. It's not too late. The life you dream of is still within reach, but you have to act. You have to choose today. So let go of the past. Stop letting it control you. Start living the life you always wanted, starting now. Because you can. You've always been capable. It's time to stop looking back and start living forward. You don't need to wait. Today is your moment. Start today, right now. Don't wait for tomorrow to make the changes you've been longing for. Don't let regret hold you back. Every moment you spend waiting is another moment wasted. Take that first step. Write down one thing you can change today. Something small, something tangible. It doesn't have to be big, but it must be something that shifts your energy from regret to action. Remember, you only live once. Every day you choose not to act is another day you lose out on the life you deserve. But every small step you take today will lead you to the life you've always dreamed of, to the life you were always meant to live. The power is in your hands. You are no longer bound by the past. The future is waiting for you to create it.